Let's discuss the difference between Xamarin Studio and Visual Studio for app development. If you run Xamarin Studio on a Mac, then when you create a new cross-platform solution, it's going to create iOS and Android for you. It will not create a Windows Phone project. If you run Xamarin Studio on a PC, you'll get the same thing. It'll be iOS and Android. I'm not sure if it installs Windows Phone, but I don't think it does. Finally, if you're running Xamarin inside Visual Studio, which obviously is on a PC, then it does all three for you. It does iOS, Android, and Windows Phone. Now, it doesn't matter where you start. Let's say you start on Mac and you don't get your Windows Phone project. You can always open the project in Visual Studio on a PC and add Windows Phone at that point in time. And you can leverage all of the cross-platform tools. It doesn't matter when it was created. Bear in mind, if you're running on a Mac, obviously you can't compile for Windows Phone, which is the main reason it doesn't create a Windows Phone project. And if you're running on Visual Studio on a PC, then you'll be able to compile for Android and Windows Phone, but iOS is going to need a connected Mac on the same network to have a build client. So you will need a Mac, whether it's a virtual machine or an actual Mac. It's the same if you're running Xamarin Studio on a PC. You will need a Mac on your network to run your iOS apps and to build them, etc. In terms of the IDE experience, so the actual development, it depends on personal preference. You can either use Xamarin Studio or Visual Studio. Both are fairly good at what they do. Obviously, if you're a .NET junkie, you'll want to use Visual Studio because of the amazing features that are inside that IDE. But on both platforms, you also get access to NuGet, and you also get access to the Xamarin Store that allows you to input components and things into your projects.